Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I am your host, Chris Bello. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of thinking time. Now, I'm reading a book called Essentialism. I may have mentioned this on a recent episode. I can't remember. I've always got 3 or 4 books that I'm reading through at the same time. This one I'm really loving and flying through. I just started a couple days ago. I'm already on page 102. I'm about maybe almost halfway done. And it just talks about being, very essentialist, like focusing on the things that really matter. It's like the Pareto principle. There are the important few versus the trivial many. We all have so many things on our checklist. There's a million things to do, and not all of them are equal. And there was a quote that really stood out to me. I'll see if I can find it. I mean, I kind of post this stuff on my story sometimes, but you want to cut out the trivial many. There was this quote that was just so mind-blowing here. Yeah, here it is. Page 45. It says, "The overwhelming reality is we live in a world where almost everything is worthless and a very few things are exceptionally valuable. As John Maxwell has written, you cannot overestimate the unimportance of You cannot overestimate the unimportance of practically everything." Sounds a little harsh. It's crazy, I know. But if you think about it, it's so true. There's so much noise out there. What's actually important? And then on the next page, here's this cool thing. If you're looking at the video on YouTube, what does it say here? A non-essentialist thinks almost everything is essential. An essentialist thinks almost everything is non-essential. So this whole book and way of thinking is like, before you do something, is it really important? And is it going to make a difference? And does it have to be done, right? You can say no to a lot of different things. And then there was something else that I read that I really loved. They talk about play, the importance of play. That's something that stood out to me because, we get caught up as entrepreneurs in the hustle and the grind. And I don't have time for video games and I don't have time to play and have fun and like flag football. Are you kidding me? I got work to do, right? I find myself falling into that. And sometimes I fool myself and make myself think that I actually love the work so much that I don't want to hang out with friends or catch up or anything. And that's not the case. I need to actually take more time off and take more time away from work because that's where you get the clarity. That's where you get the thinking time. And there was a place here, talks about space to read. There was an entrepreneur, here it was. Jeff Weiner, the CEO of LinkedIn, schedules up to 2 hours of blank space on his calendar every day. And he said at first it felt like an indulgence, a waste of time, but eventually he found it to be his single most valuable productivity tool. He sees it as the primary way he can ensure he is in charge of his own day instead of being at the mercy of it. And so you give yourself space to think. Usually, and I'm a filler, I've talked about this before, I'm a filler. I see space on the calendar, I plug it up with stuff to do, tasks to do, follow-ups, always constantly thinking of ideas. I have a checklist here on my desk of things that I want to do. So I want to combine my email list so that I can actually mail my list. I know if you sign up for my free productivity guide, you get the productivity guide. I don't really send very many emails. I need to do a better job of communicating and staying in touch with you guys. I want to create a branded polo and shirt. So whenever I'm, doing interviews or doing videos about real estate, I can have my brand instead of a random other brand. And right now I'm wearing the Funnel Hacker ClickFunnels shirt. So that's cool. Like I want to support Russell and all these cool entrepreneurs, but like I need to support my own brand. I need to be marketing myself on all the videos because if I'm doing videos and I'm adding value, I need my brand to be out there and developing the brand goodwill, right? And another thing I heard something on another podcast talking about some kind of podcast competition. And if you win, you can get $40,000 or something and some support on your podcast. And since I'm taking this more and more seriously now, I was like, okay, let me write that thing down. And so we've got all these different things and we don't give ourselves time to think oftentimes. And so here on the same page, it says, in this space, he's able to think about the essential questions. What will the company look like in 3 to 5 years? What's the best way to improve an already popular product or address an unmet customer need? How to widen a competitive advantage or close a competitive gap. He also uses the space he creates to recharge himself emotionally. This allows him to shift between problem-solving mode and the coaching mode expected of him as a leader. super powerful stuff here. And I need to do a better job of this. I do meditate first thing in the morning, and then I break up my day. After lunch, I have another around 1 p.m. I do another meditation session, and I usually do about 10 minutes each. Sometimes I'll do a little more. And if I'm feeling particularly stressed or overwhelmed or anxious, which I never used to feel until I got into this freaking entrepreneurship thing where, nothing is certain and roller coaster of emotions can go up and down so many times in a single day, in a single transaction. Sometimes in the same hour, you can go from, hell yeah, I got this client, to, man, this other deal's falling apart. Oh no, that one deal I have closing next month is falling through or getting delayed. Like, I'm not going to get any money. All these different things, right? You're thinking in scarcity sometimes. It's hard to think in abundance all the time when things aren't going your way and things get difficult. But I meditate in the morning, I meditate in the afternoon. Sometimes I lengthen that a little bit, because when your phone's going off and you're getting emails and you're just constantly bombarded with things to do, it's nice to just disconnect and think. Well, when you're meditating, you're supposed to, or at least this is my understanding, not think about anything. Focus on your breath. If you have a thought, let it run away and just don't chase it. Don't follow it. Just let yourself be, which is very difficult to do at first, especially if you're always like go, go, go mode. And so that's great. I think meditation has its own place, but you should also have separate time for thinking. And so the other day, I just had a notebook and I was writing down things on my mind. I literally wrote 2 or 3 pages, just everything I could think of. I wanted to brainstorm how I can make things better. So optimizing my processes further. I've got a transaction coordinator doing all the paperwork on my real estate stuff. I've got my podcast machine well-oiled. I've got a team in place where I record the content. They clean it up if necessary. They convert to MP3. They add the intro, the outro. They make snippets, all that stuff. I'm ordering my meals in so that I don't have to cook so many meals and I don't have to clean and do dishes. So I'm using Icon Meals and I'm using Freshly right now. I've had a pretty good experience with both. The only annoying thing is if I'm out and about and the package gets delivered and it's 100 degrees outside in Houston. So I kind of have to come back pretty soon because I don't want it to stay out there and go bad. I'm adding things as I think of them to my checklist for my personal assistant. She's even going so far as scheduling haircuts for me whenever I ask her to check my calendar and add a haircut with a certain barber on a certain day of the week. And then I thought through KPIs that I want to track, what my main focus would be if I had to pick one thing. What would my main focus be? And for me, I would pick content creation. And so if I could just focus on content creation, make videos, hand it off to my virtual assistants, they can edit it, they can make snippets, they can do all kinds of fancy stuff. And then I can just focus on recording the videos and talking to you guys. And they can do all that other stuff that I usually don't do right away because I quote unquote don't have time, or I don't want to make the time and I don't want to sit down and be a video editor. I just want to go out there and do stuff and record it. And so make sure you're having time to think. I'm on page 2 here. I was thinking about all my business expenses. I put stars next to the things that I think are kind of essential right now. So for me and my business and with COVID and all this stuff, Calendly, that's pretty important. And Zoom, I'm sending a link. People are booking it. And it adds to my calendar automatically with a Zoom link. So that's how I'm meeting with people, whether it's clients or partners or hopefully prospects that will turn into clients, just to answer questions and stuff like that. Libsyn is my hosting platform for my podcast. I would say that's pretty important because I'd like to continue to host this thing. There are some fees for my broker's office, and I didn't put Vital. I could always leave, but if I want to have a broker and I want to practice real estate, it's probably Vital. So then I've got the therapy sessions. I'm doing 2 a month. Those are $198 an hour, 2 a month there. And I'm considering that as an investment in myself. And I didn't mark those as vital. I don't think those are business critical, but I'm still investing in myself because I want to get better. I want to learn about how I think and, my pitfalls and how I might overlook things in my life that maybe I should pay more attention to. And so I'm willing to invest in myself. And another page of my thinking time, I'm telling you, these are top to bottom full pages. Money I'm willing to spend on coaching. I'm looking for a coach or a mastermind that seems to fit what I'm, what I'm about, what I want to work towards. I've got my meals here, the amount I'm spending on haircuts a year. I've got an unlimited haircut membership at a place called Boardroom. Thought about my recurring schedule. Each week, Now, is it too much to get a weekly haircut? I don't know, but I think if I do a weekly haircut on Mondays and I integrate it into my schedule, I look and feel good, all week long, and I just kind of start the week off with that same repetitive thing. So I get a haircut every 2 weeks, and this is probably getting very, very nitpicky and detailed, but I want to learn how can I make it even better. And then self-care, that's another section. I was like, okay, if I can get a haircut once a week, get a massage twice a month, ride bikes with friends or do some kind of outdoor activity once a month, maybe start going to the chiropractor twice a month just to make sure, I don't know if I need that or not, but I just want to make sure my body is optimized and I'm getting the most out of my rest and recovery. I'm sleeping 7.5 to 8 hours a night, and I'm really just trying to dial everything in and make everything better. But I wouldn't have written all that stuff down and thought through how can I make things better if I didn't schedule time to think. And that's why it's really important to actually make sure you do that. Instead of just always going and being in busy mode, set time to just sit down and think about what are you doing? Does it make sense? Think it over with other people. Ask them, hey, is this how you would do it? Does this make sense? Here's my thought process. Here's my logic. And let me know what you think about taking time to think as well. So that's all I have for you on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at any time. My Instagram is chrisbello09. Look forward to connecting with you. I kind of DM back and forth with different people and answer questions every now and then. And if you ever have a specific question you want me to make a podcast topic about, feel free to let me know as well. I'm always looking for new ideas and new content to create. So catch you on the next episode. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.